Hey everyone, as promised this morning in my daily financial news, we have two great interviews today. First up, we have Ruben from San Antonio, Texas. You may have seen Ruben on BiggerPockets rookie episode number 22. So we're bringing him back on this one rental at a time show to have a conversation. How you doing, Ruben?
Hey, I'm doing great, Michael, and appreciate this opportunity to talk to you today.
Oh yeah, this should be fun. I always like talking to people who have full-time jobs and are making a go of being a landlord, right? Because that was my story for 15 years. So I know about the challenges, finding time, just dealing with all of that stuff. But for the folks that haven't seen Bigger Pockets rookie episode number 22, let's introduce who is Ruben, what you do in this world, and we'll go from there.
All right. Well, like you said, my name is Ruben Galindo. I'm out of San Antonio, Texas. I'm a local Texas resident here. Obviously, I was born and raised here in Texas, and I am currently employed with the Texas Department of Public Safety. I'm in the executive management level, and I've been doing that for the last 22 years. But about 4 years ago, I decided I wanted to get into real estate investing. I have a good friend of mine who is a real estate investor and has been an agent for the last about 10 years now, 10, 11 years.
Okay.
And he knew I was interested, and I started kind of saving up some money. And one day he calls me out of the blue and says, "Hey, I know you've been talking about getting started. I found a great deal. It's a foreclosure. The deal is so great. I want to be part of that. So I'd like to see if you're willing to go in halves and get this journey started." At least for me, he had already done it before.
Sure.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I said, absolutely, I'm excited. Let's get it done. And that's what we did. And that's when it all started.
Very cool. So again, just so everybody knows, this first opportunity was in your backyard, right? It was in the town of San Antonio or city of San
Yes,
Antonio.
yes, sir. The funny thing is I wasn't at the time living in San Antonio,
Oh,
but
okay.
I've lived here before. I've worked here before. I just, because of my full-time job, I was actually stationed outside of San Antonio,
Okay.
but I knew the market. So
Sure.
through my friend, obviously.
Got it.
So I was comfortable with the San Antonio market.
And just so I'm clear, so I get my timelines right, are you in San Antonio today, full time?
I am today.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I got an opportunity to eventually come back to San Antonio.
Very cool. Okay, got it. I don't know that I've shared this information on any episodes. My wife and I, back in 2008, we were looking at other markets, and the one that we looked at the hardest was San Antonio. And the thing that I remember most, because we were looking at buying a block, it was like a block of fourplexes, because we were going to do a big 1031 exchange at the time. And I remember the agent telling me those were beauty marks because there's a lot of settling in San Antonio, as I recall, right?
Yes, yes.
I'm like, no, that's not beauty marks. That's a crack in the stucco. What are you talking about, beauty marks?
Yeah.
Like, what are you trying to spin this? I mean, in California, that generally doesn't happen. So I just remember that vividly. That's a beauty mark? Really? I digress.
I've never heard that term, but I kind of like it because, I mean, it's true. There are certain areas in San Antonio, the ground does move.
Yeah.
I actually have a house that's on the northeast side of San Antonio, which was my primary home at one time.
Yeah.
And there's definitely some beauty marks in there, but it is structurally sound.
Yeah.
I actually had a foundation guy come and take a look at it. He said, "You're a little off, but if it was me, I would not spend the money to do anything with it."
Yeah, it's just I just remember that the agent spinning that beauty marks. Really, those look like cracks to me, but okay.
That was the salesman in him.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's a pretty good spin. But anyway, I digress. I just had to share that story. Yeah. So let's talk about that first deal. I'm always interested in that first deal. So again, your buddy, real estate agent in the business, found a deal, wanted a partner. Do you remember the numbers or the rough numbers?
Oh, absolutely. So my friend Adam, he was also, I listed him as one of my MVPs in the Bigger Pockets episode. Nice. But the house, I think, had been listed in the 150s. It was a HUD foreclosure.
Okay.
And somebody had it under contract. For whatever reason, it came back on the market. Okay. And it was listed at 139. We made an offer of 127. Okay. And got the offer accepted.
Wow.
So we bought it at 127.
Nice.
We put about $4,100 into it. We ended up having to repaint the interior.
Wow.
We had to replace, we removed some of the carpet and put some vinyl plank flooring.
Sure.
I had to put some new appliances in there. Mm-hmm. And that was it.
Wow. So did you, wow, $4,100 is almost nothing for a foreclosure. I'm guessing, given that condition, you probably got a bank loan. I'm guessing.
Yes, yes, we got a 30-year conventional loan.
Yeah, because again, it probably would have passed if that's all you had to do: carpet, some paint, appliances.
Right.
Okay.
But I will say this, Michael,
Mhm.
is I guess when the appraiser went out there, they noted that there was no appliances.
Mhm.
And because I was a brand new investor and my friend Adam, I think he at the time maybe had one property.
Okay.
So he didn't have a consistent history.
Mhm.
They did ask us to put $2,500 in escrow
Okay.
in addition, and then they would come reinspect, and after we closed and if everything was good to go,
Yeah.
then we would get the money back.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's
Hmm.
pretty common, and folks, I suspect if the market goes where I think it's going to go over the next 4 or 5 years, being asked as a new investor to put funds in escrow
Hmm.
won't be uncommon.
Right.
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 So that's really cool. So again, the other thing that I want people to hear is it sounds like somebody probably was online, right? HUD 4 years ago, they
Yes.
probably still did stuff online, right?
Yes, sir.
So they did online. Somebody locked it up for whatever reason. They couldn't close at 150. That probably delayed it weeks, if not months. Then HUD got frustrated, kicked that escrow out, slashed the price to 139. I don't want to say desperate because I don't think HUD's ever desperate, but they
No.
wanted it gone.
Hmm.
You throw in a 127, they say yes. And from there, 30, 45 days later, deal's done, right?
Right. And this was, I think we closed November of 2016. So we're coming up
Nice.
on 40 years. And that house right now is probably market value about 185, 190. And it's been rented by the same tenants ever since.
Nice.
So it's been cash flowing ever since.
So you're into about 130, 131, maybe 132 with closing costs and all of that. What did it rent for 4 years ago?
When we first rented it out, it was at 1395.
Wow, the 1% rule. There you go.
Yes, sir. Now we're not getting as lucky now today
Okay. All right.
as far as the 1% rule is concerned,
Sure.
but it worked out that day.
Yeah, and maybe is it 1,500 today, 4 years later, or what's it at today?
It's actually, if I was following the market rate right now, I probably would be about between 1,550 and 1,600.
Okay.
Now these tenants have been real good tenants.
Yeah.
They're a little older couple, so they
Okay.
have a limited income, and I'm just trying to do my part to help them out.
So you kept it. What you're telling me is you kept it
Yes,
1395.
I'm currently at 1470.
Okay, there you go. That's good. All right. So again, so you do this, you get your experience. I'm guessing 50-50 with your partner. I'm just guessing.
Well, funny thing is that I had tried to buy him out like a year and a half after we bought it, and he was not interested at the time.
Sure.
Then there was another property that him and his wife wanted to buy, so he reapproached me and
Okay.
said, "Hey, are you still interested?" So, make a long story short, March of 2019, I bought him out, so I own 100% of that property now.
So very cool. I like that. Did that mean you had to go refi the property?
Yes, because it was refinance. It was financed in both of our names, and I
Yep.
had to refinance it just in my name only.
And then he walked away with, I don't know,
Yes.
15, 20 grand, something like that.
Yes, and I actually, with the cash out refi, is what I paid him with, so nothing
course.
came out of my pocket.
Very cool. One thing I remember, I wrote about it in my book. My first cash out refi did not turn out well for me because, well, frankly, I refied too much, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the cash flow disappeared and actually turned negative. I'm guessing in this environment, your rate was probably lower than when you first bought it. So maybe, I'm guessing the cash out refi maybe hurt cash flow a little, but not crazy amounts.
Right. Yeah, just a little bit. I think it was only maybe $50. It wasn't really.
And really, that's because you got a bigger loan, but the rate was smaller, and that's just the magic of mortgage payments.
Yes, it just kind of
just worked out.
Somewhat balances out a little bit.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so now you're you're the sole owner of that one. You've gone on to build a portfolio of 5 units. Are they all houses?
Yes, sir. They're all single family homes.
And they're all in San Antonio.
All in the San Antonio area. Yep.
San Antonio is a rather big geography. Are they within 20 minutes of each other? Like, are you focused on one part of town, or is it like spread out north to south, east to west?
I actually have in the neighborhood that I currently live. I actually have 3 properties because I really like this area.
Okay.
And that was where I bought that first property we were just talking about. I have 2 others. I've acquired 2 others since then.
Nice.
So I have 3 in that neighborhood, and that's kind of a southeast area of San Antonio.
Okay.
I have another one that is south of San Antonio. It's in a fairly newer neighborhood, a golf course community.
Oh, nice.
And then I have one on the far west side, kind of not too far from the SeaWorld area.
So like from your house, what's the farthest way? Are we talking
30
40,
minutes.
30? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
30 minutes.
30 minutes. That's the
Very cool.
furthest one.
Got it. And they're all single family homes. What is which one did you spend? Which one had the highest purchase price?
$197,000 foreclosure as well.
Wow.
In a gated community on the far west side of San Antonio. The house at the time had a market value of about $235,000.
Okay.
And again, that one had been listed by, it wasn't HUD, it was on MLS.
Yep.
But it was a foreclosure, and it was listed initially at 220.
Yeah.
Then it dropped to 210. Yeah. And then it dropped to 205, and that's when I started making offers on it.
So when was your last purchase?
That was it, actually, in February of 2020.
Okay, cool. So at least in my market, I don't see a lot of foreclosures, at least yet, or at least I haven't seen any in the last couple of years. What makes, because it sounds like you've done at least 2 foreclosures, the first one and the last one, and maybe others, I don't know. What is it about Texas where foreclosures come up? Sorry.
I'm not, obviously I don't know what's creating these foreclosure situations, but here in the San Antonio area, 4 years ago, and I'm just basing this on what my friend Adam used to tell me, and even before that, there was a lot of foreclosures on the market. He said it wasn't uncommon to see 20, 25, on the website. And now you may see 5 or 6, and then all of a sudden it's down to 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
It's really hard to say what's causing that. Aside from this pandemic, San Antonio has a little bit of everything. There's a lot of military here. We got down just further south of San Antonio. At one time, we had a big Eagle Ford shell business, a lot of oil field type work. Yeah. I mean, there's just a lot in San Antonio that has to offer that.
It really does.
Yeah, it really
does. I think San Antonio is overlooked by a lot of investors, right? A lot of people, when they talk about Texas, they talk about Dallas or Plano, and they talk about Austin. That's what attracted Olivia, my wife, to San Antonio. It was kind of like, not talked about a lot. And I like to fish where there's not a lot of people. So that's why I liked San Antonio back in the day. So I'm just, since on the topic of foreclosures, you've done 5, you've done the first one and the last one were foreclosures. Were the other 3 also foreclosures, or?
All of them have been foreclosures.
Okay.
Let me back up a little bit. So one of them was a short sale.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. So one of them was a short sale. And then the one I currently live in that was supposed to be property number 6 was actually a pre-foreclosure.
Okay. So you're always, your focus, again, just given your track record, is on, people that need to sell, or banks that need to sell, right?
Yes, sir.
Financial stress. Okay.
Right.
I am curious, how often do you look at your market? Are you looking at it every day? Do you hit it once a week on Friday? I mean, what are you doing?
Every day. Every day I'm looking at it. Now I have a full-time job, but after hours, as soon as I get home, get settled in or whatever, it's just real quick just to pull up on my phone what's out there. So it doesn't really take much. And
I'm so glad you said that, because again, I did it 20 years now, 20 minutes a day. It really doesn't take that much. As long as you know what you're looking for, put in the search, hit it, but you have to hit it every day, people.
Right. And me and my friend Adam, we talk almost every day. So, he's also on top of it, and he's retired military. So he really has a lot of time.
Your boy Adam's hitting it 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah, he is.
Between his golf round and, beers in the afternoon. Very, very cool. So again, I just want people to hear full-time job, looks every day. And again, you're looking every day, and I don't know. So you just closed one in February. I mean, how many offers are you making? Right? Are you making offers every week, every month? Because
no. If I see an opportunity, I'm not shy to make an offer. Even when I see houses in areas that I like, in the neighborhoods that I like, I try to see, okay, can I be the first one to make that offer, even though it might not be what the number they're looking for. Yeah. I may just get lucky. Now, I haven't had that happen yet, but I'm not shy, but it can. If I see that it's been sitting there for a while and I like the neighborhood, then guess what? I'm going to make that offer,
Absolutely.
and I haven't had one accepted yet, but I'm not going to stop trying.
Yeah, keep trying, man. Again, I have 20 years of doing this. The real estate market we're in today. Now, I can't, just to be clear, can't speak to San Antonio at all, but my market is, there's no supply. I mean, it's like less than a month supply, maybe just over a month now, but it's never been like this in 20 years. So the market will change. It'll adjust. And I promise you, you'll get something, right?
Oh
I
yeah.
built my portfolio, which almost totaled 200 doors at one point, all out of the MLS,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I had a full-time job. I'm not going to drive for dollars or do mailers or texting or, I mean, yeah. For me, it was the morning, right? Up,
Right.
get coffee, look at my searches before I did anything else,
Yes. Yeah.
and then write an offer. It's easy.
And that's what I'm doing. The same thing, Michael, because I have a full-time job. I don't have time to really go around looking around now. Sometimes, and I need to set up a system for this, but like this pre-foreclosure situation, I just went on the website, started looking.
Mm-hmm.
I looked for the areas that I liked that would make good rental markets.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw like in this case, I saw 5 properties that I was interested in. So
Nice.
I went ahead and typed up a letter,
Yeah,
hand signed it, and mailed them out.
nice.
Didn't hear anything from anyone. And I was living out of town at the time, so I came to San Antonio that weekend, and I actually went to these houses and knocked on the door. Didn't answer, but I left a note. Well,
Nice.
one of those residents gave me a call, and this is the house I'm living in today, and I bought it with like $50,000 in equity.
Nice.
Yeah,
Just
pre-foreclosure situation.
Just keep moving forward, right? You just never know when it's going to break your way. And, too many people get discouraged. I can't, some new investors, right? When you have a YouTube channel and you have a book, all of that, people come to you, and I can't tell you how many people go, well, I made 10 offers and nothing happened. I'm like, 10 offers? I have made 10 offers in a day before. What are you talking about? 10 offers, right?
Yeah. So
that's hilarious.
So let me tell you a story that's pretty interesting, Michael, that, that kind of, I like to think outside the box. I try to figure out how I can make something happen.
Yeah.
So this property I was just telling you about, that was a foreclosure that I paid $197,000 for. That was in February that I closed on it. Well, my offer had been accepted in January. So, I'm going through the process of getting that deal closed on. And that's when this pre-foreclosure situation came about.
Okay.
So here is the second opportunity. Well, I did have money saved up, the 20% for that foreclosure that I was under contract.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any more money. So, I'm thinking, okay, how can I make this happen? And then I thought about, well, I bought a foreclosure in 2017 at a great deal. And I know it's got at least $80,000 in equity. So I contacted my lender, who was helping me to close on that deal I had under contract.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, look, I got another opportunity. I got an idea on how I want to do it, but I need some more money. And I have a property that I bought in 2017. I should have about $80,000 in equity. I need to do a cash out refi. Can you make this happen for me? She said, send me your info. Send me the house, the property information. And man, we got it going, and we got it going quick. So about 4 or 5 days before I closed on that foreclosure, I was able to close on the cash out refinance. I was able to get another $35,000 in cash to be able to acquire the pre-foreclosure situation. And that was awesome, because I had to pay all the back payments on the house,
of course,
to stop the foreclosure.
Yeah.
And then the people that were living in the residence, I gave them, they had a little bit of equity left over after, we came to negotiation on the price. I gave them half that equity right there. And then the agreement was, give me up to 12 months to refinance that house into my name. And at that point, I'll give you the second half of your equity.
There you go.
And it worked out great, man. So, for those listeners that are out there, if you run into a barrier, try to see, is there another solution? Don't just stop and quit. Don't say I can't do it. Figure out, how can I do it?
Yeah. And I love how you're buying right. You're losing cash out refis appropriately. You're not going out and buying any toys, right, Ruben? You're not going to take that money and buy any stupid toys.
I'm debt free.
There you go.
Other than the houses, right?
Yeah. I don't count that. You're debt free.
Yeah.
That's
yes,
awesome. All right. So so as somebody who looks at your market every day, I just got to ask, what are you seeing in San Antonio today? Are prices going up? Listings going up? What's just going on, generally speaking?
It's crazy what's happening in San Antonio because I thought this pandemic was going to slow down things. Because I'm a real estate agent now as well,
Hmm.
so I really thought that things were going to go south, and they
Yep.
did not. They actually increased. One thing I did notice during the pandemic is that actual physical showings slowed down a little bit.
Sure.
So I had a listing at the time, and I went ahead and had a virtual Matterport video shot, and
Oh, nice.
and it sold soon after that. Now things have picked up. People are going to the houses and looking, but prices have gone up. I mean, houses are not sitting on the market very long, so
No.
it's very competitive. It's definitely a seller's market right now.
Yeah.
Definitely a seller's market.
I'm curious when you look at who's buying, because what I'm seeing, at least in my market, same deal, right? But I'm seeing one oddity that I've never seen before, and that is it's very owner occupant dominant, right? I've been
Hmm.
doing this 20 years. There was always kind of like this, like you and I, right? We're investors. There was always a way for us to find deals. The last 3 or 4 months, 5 months, everything that's even close to a deal gets bid up by so much that's no longer a good investment deal, right?
Hmm.
All the owner occupants are just swarming over the lack of inventory. Is it the same in San Antonio or not?
Yes, yes, we have a lot of owner occupants coming in. We
Yeah.
got people that are coming from out of state.
Oh,
San
wow.
Antonio, or the state of Texas alone is really
Booming.
increasing. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's booming. Texas is a great state, and
Yeah.
we get a lot of people from California that come
Yeah,
out
you do.
here. Yeah,
Yeah, you do.
and the prices of the homes over there, for I don't know what the market is like, but I know it's very, very expensive. So
Very,
what they s- what
very,
they s-
very, 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 very expensive.
right, what they sell a house that's 1,200 square foot in California, they could probably buy a 3,000 or 4,000 square foot house here
Probably.
in the San Antonio
Yeah, with
area.
no mortgage.
Yeah, with no mortgage, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's tough competition there sometimes.
Yeah. So let's just get this. Let's just get this out now. We'll do it again at the end. If you have anybody that's watching this that's either interested in moving to San Antonio or looking for investments there, Ruben, since you're a realtor, let's see if we can make your phone ring. What's your phone number?
My phone number is 210-275-0791. I also have a website that they can schedule, and
Awesome.
it's www.sanantoniorealestateinvestors.com.
Very cool. We'll hit that again at the end.
All
But
right,
just
thank you.
because you brought that up, you never know. Somebody might be looking to move from California or New York to Texas, and call Ruben. He knows it's San Antonio. He is an investor, so he'll know what's going on there. So I'm curious, what's your vision, right? So you're still full-time employee.
Mhm.
Do you have like an age or a year where you're going, you know what, I'm going to retire then? Right? Have you thought about that or?
Yes, sir. I sure have. I actually, right now, you asked me that question today. My answer is I'm looking at trying to do 8 more years. That'll give
Okay.
me a hard 30 with the department.
Oh, nice.
I've always had a personal goal of doing 30 years of service.
Sure.
So, I mean, that'll get here before you know it.
Oh, it's,
Uh,
yeah, 8 years. Yeah, that's
yes,
cool.
sir. And on the real estate side, I always had a goal of acquiring at least 10 properties. Don't want
Oh,
to
I love.
overdo it. At least I say that today. Maybe things will change. I've also been thinking about maybe my afterlife of DPS, of maybe even starting a property management
There you go.
company. But I'm not too sure yet on that. But it's been a thought.
Very, very cool. So I love the idea of 10 properties, right? I
Mhm.
teach and talk about everybody should get to 4. And then if you get to 4, which clearly you're at, Ruben, then you go to 10, right? That's kind of the
Mhm.
jump. And then if you're at 10, then you could talk about 25. But these people
Mhm.
that I talk to that goes, I want 100, or God forbid you tell me you want 1,000. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Because some social media guru told you have to think that big? Just first, if you're at 0, let's get you to 1. And if we can get
Yes.
you to 1, let's get you to 4. And if we can get you to 4, let's get you to 10. So I like the way you think.
Yeah, you just got to take it slow. Don't rush into it. After the Bigger Pockets episode, I got bombarded with a lot of phone calls, and some of the individuals that were calling me, like you said, they're thinking, "Well, I want to do this. I want this. This is my plan." Oh, slow down
Yeah,
a little bit. Let's take
slow
it
down.
one step at a time. Because it can get dangerous if you're trying to go too fast, too quick.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that's really, I call it unfortunate, and you can use whatever word you want, is real estate investing, there's a lot of people that it just excites you, right? People get dollars in their eyes and it dances, right? And then I call it the shooting star, right? They come in, they're just a blaze of activity, and then poof, they're gone. They've never done anything. That's why I like your approach. I call it 20 minutes a day. That's all it takes, right? Go focus on your criteria, hit it every day. And then when you hit it, you're done, right? Go do your job, right?
Right.
And then you can build a portfolio like Ruben has, one at a time. There's nothing wrong with one rental at a time.
Yeah, when I first heard about you, Michael, and I saw your slogan, I was like, man, he is so right. Because I can relate to that, because that's exactly what I've been doing. Is just one at a time.
It's just beautiful. So again, 8 more years of service. So get your 30 years, get to 10 doors. So I'm just guessing you. Oh wow! So you're at 5. You probably get to 10 doors before you're retired. I'm guessing you probably do that first before the 8.
Well, we just closed on 3 acres of land, me and my wife.
Oh, okay.
So now our focus is building our forever
home.
home.
So sure.
So that's gonna, that's gonna slow it down a little bit,
for sure.
Right? So I don't know. We'll see.
But you're also in a house now. Does the house that you're in become number 6?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're already sitting on number 6, man. You're playing games.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
And the good thing is that when I refinanced this pre-foreclosure, I was living in it. So it's an owner-occupant situation.
Lower rates. Yeah.
Lower rates.
There you go.
So, I mean, it's $1,000 mortgage, right?
Okay.
And
what would it rent for? Any idea?
$1,550 to $1,600.
Oh, there you go. The other thing I've seen in Texas, and just so people know, is property taxes reset every year. Is that true?
Yeah, they're expensive, man. Here in San Antonio, like this house, the market value of this house is about $190,000. So you're looking at about $4,400 to $4,500 of property taxes.
So let's call it 40. What would make easier math?
45.
45. So that's how much is that a month? That's 12, 33. It's like, whew,
just under 400.
Wow. And then what people need to hear is, actually, you just closed on it, right? So maybe we can talk about your first house. When you closed on your first house, property taxes were probably $3,000, $3,100, something like that.
Yeah, 36, 3,700.
And then what are they today?
They're in the 4,400s. Yeah, so it's on the same street as this house.
Nice. So, folks, I want you to hear that. This is the thing in Texas. You just have to be aware, because I knew a lot of people that bought in 08, because that's what kind of forced us there. Right, property taxes are a lot more expensive than 08 today, more expensive today than 08. And that really can eat into your cash flow, because it does reset every 12 months.
Right.
And typically up.
Typically, yeah. I have seen that one year it actually went down.
Yeah,
but
it can go down, but
very little.
Not much.
Yeah, not much.
It'll
catch up.
Yeah, it'll catch up. So any other closing thoughts? Let's talk about the newbies. Ruben, maybe if they didn't see your BiggerPockets episode again, number 22, BiggerPockets rookie, number 22. What are some words of advice you have for rookies or newbies?
Is to have a team. Have a team for your maintenance, for your repairs. That first house I tried to do, I'm not going to say everything, but a lot of it.
Yeah.
And no, that didn't work. That didn't work. So now I have my team. I've met some great contractors through trial and error referrals.
Yeah.
And I got a pretty good team now. So I really take care of those guys.
Nice.
As soon as they get the job done, I call my tenant, make sure everything went well, no concerns, and I pay them right away.
And then it does sound like you self-manage.
Yes, I do self-manage.
Yeah.
And I use Cozy. Cozy for that, and it's been great. And as long as I have Cozy, I got my systems in place already. I've learned a lot on webinars and
for people that don't know what Cozy is, can you tell them what it is?
Yeah, Cozy is an online software that helps you manage properties, and as far as I know, it's still free for landlords. And I think even for tenants, I don't think there's a cost unless you use like a credit card to pay for your rent, or I require a background check and a criminal background and a credit check, and they have to pay for that.
Yep, of course.
But other than that, I don't think there's any cost.
So any crazy landlord tenant stories? There's always one.
Yeah, I had an applicant that she had just separated from her husband, and she had 3 kids, and her income was good. Her credit was not the best. Um, and so I had a little bit of concern, and I said, okay, tell you what, well, I required a little extra security
Deposit.
deposit,
Yep.
and I only did it for 6 months.
Okay.
And knowing that, I know that more turnovers can be expensive.
Oh yeah.
But I was a little nervous. I'd rather be only committed for 6 months
Sure.
and take that chance versus a year and have to deal with that for such a long time. And sure enough, everything went well for the first 3 months. Month number 4, she was late, and I did charge her the late fees, and
Sure.
I didn't waive any of that. Month number 5, she was late, and then month number 6, she was late again. And I'm so glad that I had the extra security deposit. I'm so glad that it was only 6 months.
Yeah.
And I was I had the house vacant for 7 days to clean it because there was a mess.
Yeah.
One of the doors in the master bath was destroyed.
Wow.
I had to replace the door jamb, and so I that's the only vacancy rate. I better knock on wood.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that I've had to deal with in my time.
7 days.
But I had the money to cover it, so it was not that big of a deal.
Very, very cool.
As long as you got your funding in place, you got your reserves.
Yeah.
It's just a thorn on your side. It's not something that's you're stressing, over it.
Very cool. Ruben, this has been so much fun for me. Again, you can do this thing one rental at a time. You can do it with a full-time job. It takes focus and consistency. I wish you nothing but the best. Give your phone number one more time and your website, just in case anybody wants to reach out.
Yes, my number is 210-275-0791. If I don't answer, it's probably because I'm at work, so please leave me a message, send me a text message as well. Also, my website is www.sanantoniorealestateinvestors.com with an S, www.sanantoniorealestateinvestors.
Very cool, Ruben. Well, thank you very much for this. It's always great to talk to another landlord doing it the right way. I wish you nothing but success. Go get that 30-year, of service, and good luck getting to 10.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. Yep.
Thanks.